Assalamualaikum and good day to the fellow panelists. The purpose of this video is to present about my software engineering project 2, or also known as my final year project, which entitled the Talent Management System for the School of Computing in Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. So the content for my presentation is the introduction, problem background, objective, project scope, literature review, development method, methodology, technology use, requirement analysis and design, implementation, testing, and lastly is the conclusion. So for the introduction, the talent management is one of the crucial and critical aspects that cannot be taken lightly in the area of human resource management. Talent management is a set of integrated organizational human resource HR process that are designed to attract, develop, engage, and retain productive, engaged employees. The components of talent management varies among organizations, but the major components of talent management is centered on learning with the process of recruiting, interviewing, onboarding, and selecting. The talent management model is built on the premise that an organization must attract, retain, and engage employees at all times through all decisions. So for the problem background, in UTM, mostly every school and department encounters a major problems in their organization where the lack of staff and employees in a certain field of expertise occur. Most of the HR professionals usually use a manual system to find the added staff to be placed in the right area of expertise, such as by conducting a questionnaire or a survey which consists of 165 words of question to each of the potential staff to be answered for their individual profiling. So for the lack of training need analysis TNA and training effectiveness analysis TEA become an issue where each school and department of UTM facing the difficulty to find the right staff for the right area, as they do not have the tools or platform to evaluate each of their staff achievement, training effectiveness, ability, reliability, and performance. Without TNA, the organization might have a problem in which they will be unable to inspect what particular training needed for their staff efficiently. Without TEA, it will lead to the complication towards the evaluating and helping staff with lower performance in an organization. So for the objective of the project, so there are 4 main objectives for this project, which is to specify the software requirement for talent management system, to design the system specification for talent management system, to develop the system based on the requirement obtained, and to test it and implement the in talent management. So for the project scope, so the purpose of the talent management system is to ease talent management as well as creating a convenient and easy to use system for both staff and HR professionals for every school and department in UTM. The system is based on the relational database which will be obtained from CICT UTM. It will have the data that varies from staff profile, talent required, and training of staff that are available in every school and departments of UTM. The system will consist of 4 main modules such as profiling, training analysis TNA, training effectiveness analysis TEA, and a dashboard. So for the first module is the profiling. Profiling is basically meant by the profile or basic info of the staff in UTM. The data for the staff will be obtained from CICT in the compliance of data protection policy, and the data will be consist of staff name, staff ID, training of expected course attended, and their certificate. So for the TNA, the term of TNA is process that an organization goes through in order to determine all the training that needs to be completed in certain period to allow staff or employees to complete their jobs effectively. This model equips staff and HR professionals in School of Computing department in UTM with the following feature, which is the selection of training for staff can be done by school and departments. For staff, they can view the list of available training for their field, and the staff can eventually request to participate or attend the selected training session. So for the TEA, is referred to the quality of the training provided and measuring whether the training meets its goals and objectives. There are 4 levels of evaluating and cost of training programs based on the Kurt Patrick model, which are reaction, how did the participant react or respond to the training, learning, what did the participant learn from the training, behavior, did the trainees take what they learned and practice it on the job, result, did the training meet the stakeholders' expectation, and what was the return from the training. So for the dashboard module is where the report that have been made by the UTM admin following which training or course for each staff member had attended or participated was displayed. Then the following the report HR professional can view which field is still available or not, thus can assign their staff for the available field. So for the literature review, so the telemanagement early focus was placed on recruiting particular or for top level position and the importance of attracting and choosing the most intelligent and talented individual, as well as the discovery and evaluation of managerial success attributes by minor 1973. So TM or telemanagement refers to a company's commitment to discover, employ, retain and develop the most talented and outstanding individuals available on the labor market. As a result, when it comes to expressing an organization, the dedication to hiring, managing, developing and retaining exceptional people, telemanagement is a helpful word as it encompasses all work process and procedure associated with retaining and growing a top-tier staff by Hatfield 2021. So this is the diagram for the phases of telemanagement, which consists of 5 phases, which is planning, attracting, developing, transitioning, and retaining. So the telemanagement without a telemanagement system is nearly impossible. It includes everything from attracting and hiring the proper people to training, motivating, and perhaps most crucially, keeping them. By Verliden 2021. According to Correct 2021, through in-depth examination of new candidates and continuing education for senior personnel, TMS foster firm progress. So these are the following must-have feature and requirement for a telemanagement system, such as learning management, recruiting and applicant training, performance management, competency management, career management, compensation management, success planning and management, IT requirements, and user support and maintenance. So for the development methodology used, so RUP or Rational Unified Process, for this project, that methodology has been chosen as because RUP is an object-oriented software development process. The RUP development approach gives business an organized way to imagine and produce software programs. It offers a detailed strategy for each phase of the development process, so it helps to reduce resource waste and save on unanticipated development expenditure. So this is the graph for the phases that are obtained or contained in the RUP, which is the business modeling, requirements, analysis and design, implementation, test and deployment. So there are four main phases of phases in the RUP, which can be classified as inception phase, elaboration phase, construction phase, and transition phase. So the technology used. So for the front end, JSP, CSS, and JavaScript is used to develop the user interface. So for the back end, which conduct the connection to the database, which is done by Servlet, Java, and JavaScript HTML DOM. The framework libraries use Servlet and JSP API for the framework, and JSP standard tag library JSTL is used because this system is built basically with JSP and Servlets. So for the system architecture used is the model view controller, which is the MVC. So requirement analysis and design. So this is the use case diagram for the overall telemanagement system, which consists of 13 use cases. So this is the component diagram that the system interact with other component, which the view, controller, and the model. So this is the class diagram, which consists of 7 class diagrams, which eventually will be used in creating the table in the telemanagement system database. And this is the entity relationship diagram, which is derived from the class diagram. And this is the package diagram, which contains 3 subsystems, which is the user management subsystem, application management subsystem, and training management subsystem. So this is the architecture diagram, which consists with following the system architecture, which is the MAC, model, controller, and view. So for the implementation and testing, so the deployment of relational database and an MVC style system architecture is part of the overall TMS design. The system and database were hosted on the same web hosting company. So as a relation for the database implementation, as a relation database management system, the MySQL database was selected for the TMS implementation because it's preferable to save data in a format is typically used by telemanagement system, which is structured. The implementation of the database entails the creation of a database and table, the establishment of a connection between the system and database, the execution of query, and receipt of output from the database. So this is the database implementation. As you can see, this is the ERD, entity relationship diagram, that was derived from the class diagram. Okay, so this is the code segment for creating table in the MySQL database, which consists of 7 tables that will be used in the telemanagement system. So this is the code segment for establishing database connection with the telemanagement system database into the JDBC servlet. So this is the model view controller, and VC architecture implementation. This is the staff model. This is the model that is used to act as the staff object. This is the implementation of the view. This is the view is done by using the JSP. Okay, and the controller is used by using servlet, which is connect to the database and retrieve the data in the database to be implemented in the JSP view page. So suggestion and improvements. So there are some enhancements that can be made to enhance the functionality of the developed system. First, a schedule model may be implemented so that staff can monitor impending training that has been indicated to them. The notification model may be added to the system so that staff can determine whether their application has been accepted or if they has been allocated to a certain course. Another changes that may be made is for the admin to create a training report. This report is essential for letting staff know how well they perform through training so that they may continue to grow. So for the conclusion, the first objective is to define all of the system requirements that are needed to develop a fully. The second objective is also achieved, which is in designing the system specification for the system. The third objective, which is to develop the system based on requirement obtained, is done. And the fourth objective is also achieved in the PSM 2. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.